वेलकम ऑल। आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे चैनल टेक्निकल नॉलेज विद इंजीनियर्स में। मेरा नाम शिवम पांडे है एंड आई एम अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ प्रियदर्शनी कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग। सो आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं अप्लाइड फिजिक्स का टॉपिक वेव ऑप्टिक्स। इसके हम कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज डिस्कस करेंगे और साथ ही साथ आंसर्स भी फाइंड आउट करेंगे। ये वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू वन थिंग। इस चैनल पे और भी बहुत अच्छे अच्छे कंटेंट बहुत जल्द आने वाले हैं, सो प्लीज लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब द चैनल। So without wasting time, let's begin. Our first question is, the fringes of equal thickness are observed in a thin glass wedge of refractive index 1.52. The fringe spacing is 0.1 mm and the wavelength of the light is 5893 angstrom. The angle of wedge is option A 0.11 degree, option B 1.94 into 10 raised to the power minus 1 radian, option C 5.15 degree, option D 1.096 degree. So the correct option is A 0.11 degree. Moving to second question. In Newton's ring experiment, we get the diameter of the 10th ring as 0.5 centimeter. The wavelength of the light in air is 6000 angstrom. How much is the radius of curvature of the lens? Our options are option A 104 centimeter, option B 10.4 meter, option C 41.66 centimeter, option D 83.3 centimeter. So the correct answer is 104 centimeter. Moving on to next question, question number 3. Find the thickness of water film with refractive index of 1.33 formed on a glass window pane to act as non-reflecting film. Given is lambda is equals to 5500 angstrom. Our options are A 1033 angstrom, option B 5033 angstrom, option C 8094 angstrom, option D 2894 angstrom. So our correct answer is option A 1033 angstrom. Moving on to next question, question number 4. A glass of microscope lens is coated with magnesium fluoride and the mu is given as 1.38. Film to increase the transmission of normal incident light of wavelength 6800 angstrom. What is the minimum film thickness needed for optimum result? Our options are A 1231.88 angstrom, option B 1851.88 angstrom, option C 1471.88 angstrom, on option D 3231.88 angstrom. So our correct answer is option A 1231.88 angstrom. Moving to fifth question. In Newton's ring experiment, the diameter of the 15th ring was found to be 0.59 centimeter and that of fifth ring was 0.336 centimeter. If the radius of the plano-convex lens is 100 centimeter, calculate the wavelength of light used. Our options are option A 5.8801 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meter, option B 12.8801 into 10 raised to the power 7 meter, option C 8.8801 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meter, and option D is 10.8801 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meter. And the correct answer is option A 5.8801 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meter. Here हमको बस ये ख्याल रखना होगा कि इनवर्स साइन, नेगेटिव साइन जो है और पॉजिटिव साइन 10 टू द पावर माइनस 7 और 10 टू द पावर 7 मेक्स अ लॉट डिफरेंस। सो उसमें हमें बहुत ख्याल रखना होगा। नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. The shortest distance traveled by a light in air is known as option A optical path, option B geometrical path, and option C Young's path. Option D, Lloyd's path. So the correct answer is option B, geometrical path. Moving on to question number 7. The condition for minima for interference in the film is, or options are, 2 mu t cos r equals to 2m plus 1 lambda by 2. Option B, 2 mu t cos r equals to m lambda. Option C, 2 mu t cos r equals to lambda by 2. And option D is 2 mu t cos r equals to 0. So the correct answer is D. That is 2 mu t cos r equals to m lambda. Moving on to 8, in interference. Now we have to complete this statement. We have options A, there is loss of energy in greater amount. Option B, there is redistribution of energy. Option C, there is loss of energy in lesser amount. D, none of this. So our correct option is B, there is redistribution of energy. So always remember, in interference, there is a redistribution of energy. Ninth question, shape of interference fringes will be decided by collection of all points in thin film at which. We have to complete the statement. Option A, thickness of the film is constant. Option B, material used for the thin film. Option C, thickness of the film is variable. D, all of the above. So the correct answer is option A, thickness of the film is constant. Moving on to 10th question. Two waves of same frequency and amplitude having phase difference of 180 degree. Which of the following is correct? Option A, they interfere constructively. Option B, their amplitudes are added. Option C, destructive interference occur. D, all of the above. So the correct option and the correct answer is option C. That is destructive interference occurs. 11th question. What causes the bright colored pattern sometimes seen on wet streets covered with layer of oil? We have our options: A, diffraction and polarization, B, interference, C, refraction and diffraction, D, reflection and interference. So the correct option is B, interference. 12th question. When we introduce a liquid drop between lens and glass plate, the radius of rings, we have to complete the sentence. So the options are A, increases, B, decreases, C, no changes, D, depends on wavelength of light use. So the correct answer is option B, decreases. So it's like that when we introduce light drop between lens and glass plate, the radius of ring always decreases. 13th question, when the light is incident normally on the surface of a thin film, what will be the angle of incidence and angle of reflection? We have our options: angle of incidence equal to 90 degree, angle of reflection equals to 0 degree. Option B, angle of reflection and angle of incidence both are equal to 0 degree. Option C, angle of incidence is greater than angle of reflection. Option D, angle of incidence and angle of reflection both are equal to 90 degrees. So we have our correct answer: angle of incidence and angle of reflection both equal to 0 degree. The reason behind this is, if the light falls exactly incident at the normal, it will reflect back at 0 degree. Question number 14. Interference can be used to test. We have to complete the sentence. Option A, flatness of the surface. B, type of curvature of the object. C, both of the above. D, none of the above. So the correct answer is both of the above. That is flatness of the surface and type of curvature of the object. Question number 15. When the path difference between the light wave is integral multiple of wavelength, then the wave are said to be. We have options: A, out of phase, B, in phase, C, unaffected, D, diffracted. So the correct answer is in phase. Moving on to question number 16. Diffraction is defined as, now we have to define diffraction. So we have options: A, superposition of primary wave fronts from coherent sources. B, superposition of primary wave fronts from incoherent sources. Option C, bending of light around the corners of obstacles. Option D, interference of light. So the correct answer is option C, bending of light around the corners of obstacles. That is how we define diffraction. Now moving on to question number 17. What is diffraction pattern? We have to now explain what is the pattern of diffraction. So option A, a pattern of intensity variation consisting of equal width maxima and minima. Option B, a pattern of intensity variation consisting of unequal width maxima and minima. Option C, a ununiform intensity illumination. Option B, a pattern of zigzag variation. So the correct answer is a pattern of intensity variation consisting of unequal width maxima and minima. That is option B. Moving on to question number 18. In Newton rings experiment, ring at the point of contact in case of reflected light is always options A, bright, option B, dark, option C, colored, option D, none of this. So the correct answer is option B, that is dark. Now moving on to question number 19. In Newton's ring experiment, fringe at the apex in case of transmitted light is, we have to complete it. Option A, bright, option B, dark, C, colored, D, none of this. So the correct answer is bright. So we must remember that in Newton's rings experiment, fringes जो है apex पे in case of transmitted light वो हमेशा bright होंगे. So the correct answer is A, bright. Moving on to question number B, a phase change of pi radian is equivalent to part difference of, complete the sentence. Option A, lambda by 4, option B, lambda by 2, option C, lambda by 3, and option D, lambda by 8. So the correct answer is lambda by 2. That is option B. Moving on to question number 21. Wedge-shaped thin film is said to be a film of dash thickness. A, uniform, B, varying, C, constant, and D, none of this. So the correct answer is B, varying. That is, wedge shaped thin film हमेशा ऐसा एक फिल्म है जिसका थिकनेस जो है वो वैरी करेगा. Now moving on to question number 22. Plain parallel thin film is said to be a film of dash thickness. Options are A, uniform, B, varying, D, random, and D, none of this. So the correct answer is uniform. Now moving on to question number 23. In Fresnel's diffraction, the source and the slit are at dash distance from the obstacle. Option A, finite, option B, infinite, option C, random, and option D, none of this. So the correct answer is A, that is finite. Now moving on to question number 24. In Fraunhofer's diffraction, the source and the slit are at dash distance from the obstacle. So the options are A, finite, B, infinite, C, random, and D, none of this. So the correct option is B, infinite. Now moving on to our last question, question number 25. Resolving power of an optical instrument is given by option A, lambda by d lambda, option B, lambda by d theta, option C, lambda by dx, and lambda by dt is option D. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is option A, that is lambda by d lambda. So this was all of our 25 MCQs जो हमने डिस्कस किए ऑफ टॉपिक वेव ऑप्टिक्स. आई होप सो आपको ये वीडियो से कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन मिला होगा. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग इट. थैंक यू वेरी मच.